Hello, Martine. How are you? How's everything?
Hi, I'm great. I'm great. Just
Good.
watched yesterday the training video online. Uh,
Oh, did you see it?
yeah, I saw it entirely.
Were you
Uh,
able to identify any particular, what is it, steps you'd like to know more about? Or maybe it's going to be a matter of, well, working right now for more or less an hour. This is more like a presentation of the tool. You'll have access to it once you have your license, of course. But first, we consider it is important to get to know a little bit how to use it and then to give you the chance to start experimenting. Here we have Edith. Edith is in charge of providing this guidance, okay, and coordinating everything related to technology. So this is the deal. She's going to explain everything, but I am going to translate it. Okay, so once she starts talking, I'll turn off my camera. She's gonna do the same thing. She's going to
okay.
turn
I have
off
a
her
question.
camera.
Like, if I'm having questions, should I wait until the end or?
Yes, no. Please, feel free to maybe if she's not making any kind of pause, write them down on the chat. I remember last time you were having some troubles identifying where the chat is.
No, I see it already. So,
Okay,
yeah.
perfect. And yes, we will spend half an hour after a 1 hour presentation. We'll spend half an hour seeing those questions. But if it's something very important, please feel free to interrupt us, okay?
Okay.
So that, well, it must be answered immediately. We can answer it. Mhm.
Okay. I'll try to wait until the end, so it's easy
Okay,
for us.
fine. So I'll turn off my camera and Edith will start displaying and explaining everything, and you'll listen to me. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, first of all, let's get to know what we'll obtain from tagging. This is what you can see right now in your micro website, okay, in the portal of Redalyc. However, what do we expect to see? We'll expect to see all the articles displayed in different reading formats, such as this one. You see, if well, we click on one of the articles or we focus on one of them, we'll see the intelligent reader, rich PDF format, the HTML, the mobile reader, the EPUB, and also the XML JATS. Thanks to the XML, we'll be able to generate all the others. So here in the XML, we identify all the information that needs to be tagged. Each of the sections from the article will be tagged. This is just an example. First of all, we'll have to access Marcalyc. You'll be granted this username and password, and you'll see a display such as this one. However, this is our, what is it? Here we have different samples, test we have used before to train editors. Choose the language, click on the icon. We'll see our journal's metadata and its logo. And immediately after, Marcalyc demands to choose a PDF style. Marcalyc offers 4 options. However, I'll share with you 2 of them. The first one presents a cover and it displays the content in a very particular style. As you can see, it is basically on the right side. This is a PDF generated by Marcalyc. And this is another format. The information is not modified. As you can see, this resembles a little bit more what it is usually displayed on your PDFs. This is the justified format. To start, we need to create or register a new issue. All issues are distributed according to years. Obviously, right now, your journal is in blank, does not have any content. We add an issue, and we'll see this window. Some data are requested, such as volume, issue, year. You may indicate the first and the last month of the period. We can choose the type of issue. We are not going to enable the continuous flow because that's not the case of your journal. That's not the kind of publication you work with. And we'll choose the Creative Commons licenses according to the one you're using or you are indicating. If there's the need, you can modify this information or complete it. Besides that, you can add sections. It all depends on how you name each section in your table of contents. And we click on that tick and we save. Once we save, we'll see our issue on this chart. This is called table of contents for us. We can edit this information by clicking on that little green pencil. If there's a need, of course. Once we see the registry, we click on the volume and number. We'll see those data on the upper side. Also, the name of the section. Immediately after, we click on Add Issue, that green icon with the plus symbol you saw. We select the kind of article or publication. We copy and paste the title of an article. We've chosen one from your journal. We'll copy the information from the Word file. That way we'll save time by not typing the information directly. Here we see the article. We select the article's title. We copy it. The section is already set there. We can change it if it's necessary. We select the language. We may include the length or the pages, the citation style. Once we fill in all these, we create the registry. Up here, you'll see a pop-up. The article has been saved successfully. Marcalyc works based on an HTML format. Okay, first we'll have to copy the information from our original article and paste it in a Word file and save it. Once we upload the article, we'll have to zip it. And it must be under a UTF-8 codification. And that's the name it must have, index.html. In case of not, attaching yourself to all these requirements, the system will reject or denegate the file. We save our file, starting by establishing the codification. We go to Tools, Web Options, Codification on the top, and we look for Unicode UTF-8. We click on Save and save. We choose web page. We must verify the name of the file, index.html. We save, and that's it. Then we need to zip it. That's a file we need to upload. I've just chosen the zip file. It's been uploaded successfully. In case we made a mistake, the error will be displayed in this precise window. To corroborate the file was correctly uploaded, we can click on that eye icon we see there. We'll be able to see if it was uploaded correctly. Once we have uploaded the HTML, we'll see 3 different icons on the right side. As you can see, there is an M icon standing for Marcalyc, and it indicates the tag option. We click on it, and we'll start tagging. Marcalyc offers different inference wizards. This is the one that will assist us for tagging the body of the article. You click on accept. It's the best option using the inference wizard instead of doing it manually. You'll have to choose all sections and subsections from your article. For instance, the introduction. You scroll down and you choose the next subsection. That way, we create a hierarchy. And Marcalyc will infer the sections we are working on. All our sections and subsections must be chosen or selected. As many sections you need, you may add them. That way, the content of our article will be inferred. In case of making a mistake, we may delete it or simply correct it. We can simply select the section once again. And automatically the information is corrected. It's very important not to omit any section. In case of omitting it, it will not be included in the tagging. And that will imply I will have to include it manually, which implies a lot of effort and investing a lot of time. That's the reason Marcalyc is better used if we choose the inference wizard. Right now, I'm choosing or selecting all the sections and subsections. It's very important to choose the last 5 words from the last section. Very, very important. That way, Marcalyc will be informed, let's say, that that's the last section. So we'll take those 5 last words from the conclusions. Finally, we click on the Infer button. We'll not include the appendixes because that's part of the pack. And Marcalyc has its own section for appendixes and references. We click on Infer. We are asked to verify our information, and if we're sure everything is all right, we continue. It is very important to keep saving all information you register. We'll start with the front information, the main data from the article. The article's title has already been inserted. So let's continue with the author section. We just simply need to select information. We select the name, the last name, the email. It is very important to have all this information in the HTML, the affiliation institution, the country. But in this particular case, we are not asked to include the name just by selecting the country. We need to go up to the upper side and look for the country. Once selected, we may go on. We save the information. We may add another author. Oh, before that, I forgot about the orchid. We need to add the orchid. Once again, we click on the box related to the author. And on the upper side, you'll see some attributes or options. You'll have to select the author's identifier. What kind of identifier it is? Oh, it's an orchid. So we simply need to select the digits. That's the information, the whole information about our first author. What do we need to do to add other authors? We click on the bigger box, authors. On the upper side, you see there is a button, author. Once you click on it, another box and subsections is created so that you can include the information of as many authors you have. In this case, for the second one. Again, we include name, last name, email, institution. We look for the country. And we keep saving our changes. We've just added the orchid. And well, that's just the example. We may continue doing the same with the rest of the authors. This article does not have reception and acceptance dates, which are basically an insert, but since we don't have them, we need to delete that section. As you can see on the upper right side, there is a cross. So you close that, and that way you delete the section. We save and continue. What about the abstracts? Since there is just one abstract, I mean, it's not in a second language. It has already been it has already been inferred, as you can see. The keywords have also been inferred. What if we needed to add an abstract in a second language? In that case, you simply need to go back to the abstract section and add the corresponding one, and also the language. Okay, this is information we see from the HTML, and we have already tagged. In case of needing to add anything else, we'll see on the upper side extra options, such as the DOI or the link of the journal. Let's move on to the references, which is the back of our article. Marcalyc offers another inference wizard. As you can see, there was a warning there. Just click accept, it's not really necessary to pay attention to it. You'll see that the whole content of each reference. And we are asked to include the source. Marcalyc infers the source, but if it is not inferred, you click on the section and you choose the corresponding information, in this case, the title. You may verify the type of publication is correct, and if it is not, change it. So it was inferred, it was a journal, but if it is a book, you may change it, okay? Once we want to continue, if it is a journal, the title of the journal is mandatory. Sorry, the title of the article is mandatory. And we'll simply need to select the title without included the, in that case, inverted commas. And that's what we'll do with each of the references. We select the source, the type of publication. In this case, we are establishing it's a website, and we click on Next, the Next button. Here we have another example. I click on the Next button, but the Marcalyc already identified that I skipped information, that I must tag it. So these are mandatory sections we need to fill in. We select the source. We indicate it's a book or a book chapter, and that's what we have to do with all the references. We'll omit the rest of the references just so that we can move on. But that's something we are just doing right now. Once we reach the last reference, we click on the Finish button. If necessary, we may go back, of course, to correct any information, or in case we skipped any of the references. We finish. And now, on the left side, you'll see all the references. Okay, please bear in mind that we simply selected the reference, the kind, or the source, and the title. Marcalyc inferred the name of the authors, the year, the attribution, and some links. Let's save. We'll see that not everything from our reference has been tagged or typesetted. So I need to add that information. How can I do that? I click on Reference in Detail, and on the upper side, you'll see different options. I need to select the starting page and the ending page, or the first page and last page. I select the information from my HTML, and it is immediately seen on the left side. So all those data that are not inferred by Marcalyc must be added manually. As we can see, this article also includes an appendix. To add it, we choose the outer box, Reference, Notes, and Appendixes. And on the upper side, you indicate it is an appendix. The corresponding section is created, and we'll choose the information. Here in paragraph, we'll add a table. I'm clicking on Text Table. The table is identified or inferred, and automatically you will see a button, Import Table, on the bottom side. That way, the table is typeset. It is very recommendable to choose the typesetting this way, instead of doing it manually. we may get rid of all the extra sections. For example, image. We need to add a paragraph to include that information, that question we have over there. It doesn't have any other extra information, so that's it. That's our appendix. We save the information in the same section, in the reference section. We see that the article includes notes. They have already been inferred. Great. Just, we must be sure the information has distributed correctly. We see an identifier and different paragraphs. Even if it's a one single line, it's a paragraph. Marcalyc decided to join all this information in one single paragraph. We need to divide it into four. How can we do that? We simply select the information. We select the first paragraph, and then we add another paragraph. How do we add another paragraph? By clicking on that paragraph button on the upper side. As you can see, we are adding paragraphs. In case of needing to add more notes, once again, we look for the outer box, the bigger one, the one that says notes in plural. We click on that and we add another note by clicking on the note button on the upper side. If we don't have any other notes, we simply delete it. We save our changes and let's move on to the body, that is the full text, the main part of our article. All information has already been distributed by sections. We have the title, but we must verify all paragraphs have been correctly distributed. That way we verify all the information was distributed according to the sections and it's not all together. If we need to correct, we select the section and we correct it. How? We simply select that information from the HTML and that's it. As you can see, not having equations or several images, typesetting this article is quite easy. The wizard has identified, for instance, here that there we have a section, a subsection, and what is it? A subtitle? No, title. There we see another subsection, its subtitle. Now, what if we see a table? It has already been inferred automatically. We see the identifier of the table, its title, the table itself, and we see the option of choosing the image, but we are not going to use it. We delete it. The attribution, there are no notes, no source, so no additional information to add. We must verify everything was inferred correctly. Here, we see that Marcalyc inferred as paragraph the information of the table, which has already been typesetted. So we'll simply delete this information. Now we have a figure, a chart. It was inferred, but it was inferred as a paragraph. We need to correct that. We select the paragraph and we delete it by clicking on that icon that represents an eraser. We click on the paragraph section and we choose that button that indicates it's a figure, picture, or graph. A new section has been created. We select the information, the identifier, figure 1, the name, and in this case, the image. We click on the image section and on the upper side, you see the button called Gallery. You'll see this window. You will have to select the image from your device, and we upload it. That means the file has already been uploaded, and as you can see, we see it here. We select the corresponding one. All the images we save can be displayed here. We select the corresponding one and we insert it. We see there is no source to add, so we may continue. Here we see another figure or chart, and it was not inferred. It is very important to be careful when, okay. So it's very important to be very careful when creating our HTML. Not having a gap between the paragraph, the former paragraph, and the image, it was inferred that it is also a paragraph. So we need to correct that. Once again, we add a section for an image. This is figure number 2. The title, and we insert the image, and we save. Let's move on. All these are paragraphs. They were correctly inferred. We have reached the conclusion. We save information. Basically, all information we see on the HTML has already been tagged. So let's finish. Marcalyc indicates whether the tagged or typesetted article has mistakes or errors. You'll see these red, what is it? Red, very red color, okay? It indicates the work has some errors. So let's look for that color to identify the mistakes or the errors. Including the source in a reference is mandatory. That's the reason it is an error. I need to select the title, and that's it. And I save changes. I finish. Automatically, I will be allowed to continue. But let's check, just to be sure. We have another wizard, by the way. And this wizard assists us to add links in the text. I save all my information. I select the section and click on this icon, this assistant we see here. It's an inference wizard for citations. I click on the accept button. By doing so, links will be added one by one. Now, let's take a look at this one. In this case, we don't see a link. Why? Because some of our references were not completed. Do you remember? We didn't add all the missing data. Had we completed all the needed information of each reference, that link would be on display. I'm looking for an example where we can see a link. So it must be one of our references that we completed correctly. Okay, I keep saving. I mustn't forget that. Okay, I wasn't able to find one, but those links are visible. You will see them in blue. Is that correct, Edith? Once all references are tagged correctly. We click on continue. Our first reading format will be created, which is the smart reader or the intelligent viewer. You will have to verify by means of it all your typesetting is correct. In case of noticing errors, we still make corrections. But it is very important to do it right now. I mean, to identify mistakes. Otherwise, later on, we cannot correct it. well, we cannot correct it ourselves. We need to ask for assistance. Let's say this author, I don't know, we made a mistake. We selected another author, and this is not one who contributed in the publication of this paper. We go back to the tool by clicking on that one. We look for the author and we delete it. We save changes and we once again click on the finish icon so that we can generate our article on this format once again. Once we are sure our work has no errors, we'll come back to this section or table of contents, or what is it? The registry of our articles. Once we add all our articles corresponding to that issue, we have to, very important, we have to finish the issue. That way, our team at Redalyc will be able to validate the contents. That's how we identify the institutions and register them. We click on the Accept button. A new window is on display. Here we'll have to enter a code that the licensee receives. So you'll receive this information and you'll need that code. You copy it.
The screen sharing stopped.
Yes, it was on purpose because she was copying a code, Martin.
Okay.
That way she'll display the code as you can see it right now. We enter the code and we send it. Automatically, we'll be able to see the different reading formats. As you can see, the mobile format, the HTML, the EPUB. Each displays information in a different way, depending on the device you are using. This is the HTML. Let's take a look at the PDF. We chose just one of the different 4 styles we provide at the Redalyc. Okay, we chose this one. What's the name of this one, Edith? Riga. This is the name of the format. You see the pages. We see the sections, titles, the tables, figures, charts, the references, of course, our appendix, and notes. And of course, we also see the XML. To export it, to visualize it. So as you can see, all the information is here, including tables. Each of the single data is identified here, and the style is determined. If we had added an image instead of the table, well, we would see an image. We can also download the contents, the HTML contents. In case of making mistakes and needing assistance, we click on this button, Make Request. We must indicate what kind of error we have. If we need to modify part of the text, or if we are having troubles, technical troubles. And please indicate what kind of help you need or what information needs to be changed. We click on the Accept button. Once you do that, all your icons changed to gray. They were deactivated, okay? And they'll remain that way until you receive assistance. That's a way you may report an error. Once we finish our issue, instead of being in process, you'll see it as finished, as tagged. And that tick represents that. But you'll see a different tick in green once the Redalyc team validates or processes the articles. And until that happens, it will be able to be online on the portal. That's when finally the indexing process finishes. Okay, so that's pretty much. And of course, we are ready to listen to your questions.
Okay, so do I understand correctly that after I finish the typesetting, when like the editing part is finished, I'm able to download like the PDFs, mobile files?
That's right. Yes.
Okay, so waiting for your validation is basically just waiting for the things to be published on Redalyc, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So I also have a question regarding like the editorial workflow, because when we do it in Poland, usually when I finish the typesetting, I need to create a PDF file, send it to the author, then the author sees it, usually has some comments, requests, and so on, and it might be a huge list.
Yeah.
And then I practically need to include it into the typesetting. So the problem that I see is that if I should type all the requests in this like text field that you showed me to request the Redalyc team to do the edits, it might be problematic for you. And
yeah, no, the team doesn't do that. The team doesn't do that. It must be done by yourself. Sorry?
So how should it happen? Because practically I would need to generate the PDF file and then go back to editing. But that's impossible, right?
I get it. Let me explain that to Edith and let's see what she says, okay? Yes, she's telling me that, well, you need to ask for assistance in that case so that we can modify that information, even if it is sometimes a lot of things.
Like, but like I often receive like PDFs with comments in, for example, Polish from the editor-in-chief with some kind of colorful markings on the text that I barely understand. So I think it might be a big problem because usually I hang on the phone with the person who made the edits and try to figure out how to type it in the type settings. So I see it as a like big problem because I would need to write to you some kind of a lot of information. Just to change one simple thing that I usually see in the colorful markings in the PDF and talk through the phone, for example. So I see it as problematic if I cannot go back from the having a PDF part of editing to the text editing part. So that's one problem that I see, that I cannot go back to the editing from the PDF part. And I do not have, because I do not see it happening, writing all that stuff that I usually receive, especially that quite often it's in huge amounts. and often the authors, they kind of like to do some bigger edits even at the end. So it's problematic for me,
Okay,
normal workflow, and
give
it
me a
might be.
sec. Give me a sec. It's because the two of you are speaking simultaneously. Los dos están hablando al mismo tiempo. Okay, so I want to tell you, Marcin, what to do instead of, reporting these requests to the Redalyc team. And let's listen to Edith, what she's gonna say, okay? And I'll tell you in a minute. It's a matter, according to what Edith says, it's a matter of just indicating the author has asked for several corrections without needing to specify much. I mean, it's not like explaining every single correction. But yes, you would have to ask for this assistance.
So the assistance would be that you can change the status of the publication to go back to the editing part, or?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
So when
No, not do the editing for you. I mean, all those corrections are made by the team here at Redalyc. Once you finish, it cannot be activated again so that you can continue editing. Just let me be sure of that, okay? Let me ask it. Okay, but I mean, once you finish the issue, okay? So that's when you are not allowed to continue editing. As long as you don't finish, you may continue editing, okay? As long as you don't finish the issue. I mean, once you are requested to enter the code and you finish, okay, you cannot work on those articles anymore.
Okay,
But
so
before
I
that,
get it. So one thing is finishing the article, and if I have finished the article, let's say, I can download the PDFs, but then I can go back to editing. But if I have finished the issue and like published it with the code, like requesting publishing it with the code, then I cannot go back, right?
then you can't go back, right?
Okay. So that's fine for me. I have also a question about the cover page, the front page. How much can it be edited? Because I would like to have this authenticate logo included, and like also our OJS team told that they would like to have like AMU logo on the front page, maybe things like that. So is it all adjustable?
Yeah, we were talking about that with Ariana. Remember, yes, it's gonna imply making this special request for you so that you can add these logos. And besides that, maybe the QR code. We were looking at your articles.
Yeah.
And what else apart from the logos and the QR code?
Uh,
Maybe you didn't like this idea, or not you. I mean, people at university of having the Marcalyc, what is it? Information on all pages, just on the first one. So all this implies making changes in the system, especially for your journals.
Okay, but like, let's say I might be fine with that with my journal, and from my perspective, I do not know what the editor-in-chief comments will be when she sees her final product, let's say. She might have some comments or requests to modify something, and I don't know if that's possible. And if the edits are possible or not, like, I don't know what to say to her if she might have this kind of comments.
The PDF may include the journal's logo. But because she's looking for an example of a journal with a PDF that actually includes the logo of the journal. And so, well, but the other one, the institutional one, is not there. Okay, but that's something we would have to talk to the systems team and do several other things.
Okay, I also saw when you finished the typesetting of this article that when we had the PDF, the one of the tables I think was passing from one page to another and was like automatically sized, I guess. So my question would be if it's possible to edit how the tables are laid out on the page, because quite often from the other articles I saw that the tables tend to be quite huge, and I had problems in filling them on the page so that they fit. And it might be a problem if the PDF gets auto-generated.
According to what it says, it's not possible to modify, let's say, to modify the size of the tables. They are automatically identified that way, and that's the size that.
Yeah, so if they flow from one page to another, we cannot do anything about that, right?
No.
So it might be better than to make a picture of them, I guess. And
Okay, a picture. What do you mean? To upload the image?
yeah, to use the graphic
This is-
option instead of text table.
Well, what's the problem with the size of the tables? I mean, we are looking at them right now.
They are small, but I had tables that I had problems fitting on one page. They were so huge. And also the problem is that in some cases, the tables that the authors created in Word, they were faulty because they, when you have the lines dividing the cells in the table, they had like manually adjusted them or painted them white. So when I poured them in the typesetting program, the table didn't align at all because the white color coverings of the lines became visible. I don't know how it works in your system, but I had then huge problems in understanding the tables because everything moved, you know. It didn't look like in the Word file because of how the authors did it. So I always worry about the tables. And quite often it was easier for me to make a picture or put much work in it with the author to make it look as it should. And up here I do not have.
It is saying that well, in that case, yeah, you could add the well, you would need to modify the table, the chart, or whatever, and then upload it as an image.
Also, I have a question about in the beginning part when we created, I think, the article, there was this copyright holder field. And my question would be because we have as the copyright holder always indicated the author of the article, I think by name and surname. So would I need to type the name and surname of the copyright holder each time manually, or like it's or the field is just to indicate like the author or the institution or the journal, or how does it work?
I didn't understand the question very clearly. I mean, what's the information you don't want to type?
When I have the field copyright holder, when I create the article, how does it translate to the final product? Where do I see it in the final product? Copyright. It was
corporate. What do you mean by corporate?
Copyright.
Copyright. The copyright. Yeah. Sorry, I wasn't understanding.
Yeah,
where do you see? Okay.
A copyright holder field, journal or publishing institution or author. So should I type in
here
journal?
it is smart or intelligent viewer, you see it here.
Yeah, but the field was not filled in the form, I think. So I do not.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
it's not
was.
like if she scrolls
We
down,
chose the
like
buy
now,
and see non-commercial.
yeah, you have copyright holder, right? Lower, not statement, but holder.
Ah, I
Yeah.
see it. Okay,
So that's what I'm asking about
I
because
mean,
I
in
have
case you need to add anything else, you may do it, and that will be on display.
so can we see it?
Ah, okay.
Because I had huge problems with that when I applied to Directory of Open Access Journals. They requested to have in every single article explicitly stated by name and surname every author as the copyright holder.
Yeah, she'll do that now so that you can see that it is possible to edit that information and to see it on the final product. So, what kind of information would you add there, for example?
Like some
Copyright
kind of
holder. The
name and
year,
surname, I think.
name and surname.
That's what I was asked for by the representatives of Directory of Open Access Journals, I think, a couple of years ago. And I needed to redo the article pages.
Okay, she's simply modifying the information so that you can see that it is on display now. I mean, you may add whatever you need or your journal considers important to include.
Okay, so I might just skip it at all from the article and keep it as it is, only on the OJS page, right?
Also,
Okay, great. Also, is it possible to edit the text in Marcalyc? Like, if I want to modify the original text that I have uploaded in the index.html file, can I edit the text in Marcalyc, or do I need to some kind of update, re-upload the index.html file?
okay.
If, for example, the author wants to modify a sentence.
You may change information that directly on Marcalyc. I mean, we don't know exactly what kind of information you would change. But, well, supposedly, once you have generated the HTML, it should be exactly the same, right?
Yeah. So if she's typing it in up here on the left,
Yes.
does the file on the right also gets modified? No,
No.
it's only the
Only the Marcalyc.
Okay. Also, when I watched the training by Victor yesterday on YouTube, I saw that that there was some kind of a place in the screen export to OJS, and I was curious if it's possible to export the whole issue to our OJS, for example, not to do the work again in OJS.
The plugin is being updated, Martin, so it's not possible to use it right now. So yeah, our team is working on that, but it's not enabled right now.
Okay, so maybe in the future it comes back.
Once it is updated, it's once again going to be, it's because that training session goes back to 2022, I think. And yes, some other editors have been asking the same.
Yeah, it's pretty useful. It takes a lot of time to retype everything.
Yes, of course, we know that.
What else? I think that's everything that I had noted from the training today. I had also like a question on my mind about like joining Redalyc. Is it possible for a journal that just opens up to apply for Redalyc if it's brand new without any content, or does it need to kind of exist for
No,
users?
well, there is a special program called Workspace DO, what is it? Open Access, DOA, Diamond Open Access, and to support new journals. Okay, they need to apply. How can they do that? Well, they may contact whoever they want here at Redalyc, okay? And of course, the idea is to support them in case they haven't, they do not have a single clue of how to start. But many times they do not have the, what is it? The economical support to rely on DOIs or whatever. And that's something that America Commons will provide in the near future. So it is possible to guide them. Redalyc does not accept brand new journals without contents. They must have at least 1 year publication online.
Okay. I was asking because I intend to open my own one, so I'm looking to get as advanced technically in the beginning as possible. That's what I'm asking. So I was thinking maybe to start from the beginning on Redalyc, but if it's not possible, then not. But I had another question as you talked regarding the DOI numbers, because we need to assign them on our OJS platform. So we need our own DOI numbers that we assign. Is it, I think we talked about that before. You said it is possible to do that and it's not a problem, but how does it function from the technical side? Like, I need to add on the front page, I guess, the DOI number that I will need to assign up here, as it will be in the future right now, and not get assigned any DOI by Redalyc, right?
Yes, no, they are not assigned by Redalyc.
Right.
So yes, Redalyc is about to explain how to add the DOI, but yeah, they are not assigned by Redalyc. I
Right.
mean, that's another service that some journals may request. Later on, America is going to provide these identifiers without charging anything, but that's still in process.
Okay, but that's excellent for me, because we do not have any problems with the DOIs. It's just that we need to have them assigned by our system.
Yes.
In the end. So I guess that's all the questions that I had. And also, because I see that the workflow in the beginning at least might be very time consuming, I would need to start the work on the next issue as soon as possible, because we need to publish on time. It's like a crucial thing up here. So I would need to start as soon as possible to get to know how it works, to make it on time. So that's kind of
and well, a recommendation as head of this department, at dates, at dates, reception and acceptance dates. I don't know if that's something you can decide, or if that's something that the editor-in-chief decides. But
I did not understood the.
Yeah, your articles do not have dates. So for us, for Redalyc, it is like you are not complying with a requirement. So that's my recommendation, okay? But that's out of context.
It's very difficult up here to make it happen. If you look at other journals at our OJS systems, they also do not have it, because as the authors function up here, it's impossible to track all the inputs where they send the articles to and to whom and with what dates.
Well, but that's
when.
supposed to be the reason of existence of the OGS. I mean,
I know,
if,
but it's not used up here as intended by the OJS creators, and it's quite a common thing. We try to change it, and we moved the huge part of the workflow inside in the OJS to make it happen in the OJS. But it's a thing in process, and like right now, I do not believe that it's possible with the dates. I know because our OJS team also wants to have this reception and publishing dates, but they see that it's practically impossible in those journals. That's why you cannot see it in the journals. Like it's very difficult to track it.
I'm trying to understand why. I'm trying to understand, but well, okay.
Like because not all the authors want to use the OJS as like create the accounts, submit their data and so on. And up here, the like research quality has, I think, a primacy before some kind of a system, you know. So we prefer to publish a good article than not to publish it because someone does not want or does not can use the system, you know.
I see. Okay, well, in that case, just remember that the tagging process may be, well, time consuming at first, but once you become, you know, like more confident, it is easier, and you can ask for help anytime you want. In case you have questions, contact editores at redalyc.org, and they can support you.
Okay, great. So I want to start as soon as possible.
Great.
So I'm just waiting right now.
Of course, you'll receive your license. You'll receive your user number and password. Don't worry. They are working on that. Okay.
Great.
Good. Well, it was a pleasure. Thank you very much, Edith.
Thank you, Edith.
Yes. Without her, I wouldn't be able to help you. Okay.
Yeah, she's
Sin tu ayuda no podríamos, Edith. Okay, Martin, it was nice to see you. Take good care of yourself, and well, keep in touch.
Yeah. See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.